Okay, let's hang out. So take a moment to consciously let your weight drop right down to your feet. And then take another moment to make sure that your structure hasn't collapsed when you drop the weight. So rather than this, drop the weight, but the skeleton stays vertical. So a couple ways you can approach the structure or maintain the structure, because definitely there will be a tendency that when you consciously drop the weight, that might pull you down, or you might slump. So when you drop the weight, you can either just very mentally, intellectually align the skeleton with your intention, realign or maintain that vertical alignment of your bones, even as you let the weight drop. So let your structure be totally dependent on your bones and not your muscles. And no matter how well you're able to let your weight fall through your legs, that skeletal alignment is maintained. And so your posture is kept integrated. A more internal way of approaching that, and we'll talk a lot about that in Tai Chi often, is as you let the weight drop, tensions and weight drop, connect that mentally. Intentionally connect that to an opening and releasing of your upper body. So as the weight falls through your body, link that to an opening up of your upper body. So you can even just intellectually and rationally kind of link that. If I can release tensions and weight and stuff out of my body, I'm going to intentionally make that correlate to an opening, emptying, releasing of my upper body. It has a very nice feeling, and you can make that connection very directly. Every ounce I can drop and release through the legs and feet directly relates to a certain quanta of opening and releasing in the upper body. So you can become grounded and more grounded moment by moment, and at the same time become more open, more spacious, more free at the same time, moment to moment. Allowing gravity to work, free-falling freedom, and then connect that to directly creating more and more openness. Again, very intellectual way of relating that. It's like you're emptying the upper body. Upper body becomes emptied as you release and let go of the weight and tensions. Weight and tensions exit freely through the legs and feet, and that empties the upper body, opens the upper body. And then being conscious of the connection with the ground to shift the weight. Notice any tension creeping into the shoulders, the abdomen. It's like you're just hanging out. And you want that string that we talk about to be towards the back of the head, not the center. Back of the head, so that it pulls the chin down and in slightly. If that string that you're hanging from is in the center of the crown of the head, it'll tend to tilt chin up, which means it's kinking the cervical spine. So hang out, use the ground to shift the weight, completely release those arms. See if you can let some space, like literal physical space, happen in the shoulder joints. If you just let gravity, momentum, pull your arms and allow that to occur, there will be some opening physically in the shoulder joints. Allow the tailbone to hang. And again, release the abdomen. Then we can get a little bit more vibrant and physical with that arm swing if we go a little wider with our feet, like horse stance, and then we'll have more of a weight shift and a hip turn. So again, just more vibrantly, actively sourcing the ground. And pushing the chin in a little bit, in other words, lengthening the back of the neck, pushing the lower back out a little bit, releasing the abdomen. Hang out, release, use the legs or use the ground. Breathing in, the belly expands. Breathing out, the belly empties. And slowly winding down. Again, tune into your upper body. Has it collapsed at all or tightened? Let the weight exiting through the legs and feet liberate the upper body. Inching your feet in. Rolling your shoulders. Feel the spine moving. Again, release the abdomen. Other way. Have a sense that, again, it's your mind, your intention that's creating those circles. Your body is just softly following. So you're doing mental circles or mental spirals, and your body is swept up in that intentional current. So that's different than doing physical, muscular contraction and articulation. The body is swept up in your mental current. And again, the other way. And hip circles, but keep that tailbone pointing towards the ground. Other way. And the weight is still just free falling through the legs and feet. And knees, bring the heels close together when you work the knees. Other way. Okay. And a little bit with the neck, head drops. Again, we're just accessing gravity. Let the head hang for a few moments, for a few breaths, and just enjoying the sensation of letting gravity do that stretch for you. So natural. And up, and one more time. And once more, and this time, once the head is down, chin rolls along the chest, and again, accessing gravity for that movement. Releasing the abdomen. And to the center of the chest, and your intention brings your head up. A little turn, a little turn. Again, your intention is leading the way. It's like the wind of your intention moves the body. Good. Slowly reaching up, a little bit higher each time. And once one hand is up, just watch it fall back behind you, and then the other arm. Okay. Hands together, a little space between the palms. Hang from the string, knees are unlocked. And you're vibrating your hands. It's a natural rhythm. So again, try not to be too contractual about it. It's like a continual dropping, continually dropping. Doom, 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 doom. So you're not vibrating physically like that. It's a continual dropping, very rhythmic. Until you can find that natural rhythm where it takes zero effort to continue that vibrating. So that rocking, And she takes no effort. You're just accessing gravity over and over again or continually. And just work with that until you can find it resonating through your entire body. It's actually right now resonating through my entire house. See the screen moving. So see if you can get the heels maybe moving a little bit just from this motion here. So this is a whole body connection exercise, unifying the entire body. And as we get better with this, we do it with less and less tension and muscle work. Just a continual falling, falling, falling. Connect the whole body. And then same sort of idea, we shake the hands up here. I'll make sure you can see my hands. So not just kind of floppy kind of thing. Sometimes I see people doing a floppy kind of thing. It's better to have a bit more form. This is the same shape we have, traditional Aikido shape, holding the weapons, how we grab our partner. And then we'll drop it 3 times on the out breath. You breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out 3 times with the drop. Breathe in. You can go at your own pacing. You want to breathe in here through the nose. Breathe out through the nose or the mouth. 3 arm drops for the out breath. And then back to the hands together. See if you can find and access that natural entrainment. Let it pull the shoulders straight down. Be conscious of the shoulders. When you relax the shoulders down, watch that they don't roll forward too much. That can easily happen, especially with the hands being in front. And again, in our society, we have a lot of time spent in that shape, the computer. So don't let the hands or your habit pull your shoulders forward. Let the weight of the hands pull your shoulders straight down the sides. And let the hands fall to the sides. And just feel the tingling, vibration, and track that vibration with your awareness. Breathe into the belly. Light horse stance. And then I'll work with this shape again. It's a very useful shape. It's fairly easy to get into. It relates to the shapes we use in Aikido. It allows us to attend to a lot of different things. We want the shoulders to be pulled down by rolling the elbows forward. Having the elbows forward away from the body, that keeps the shoulder joints open and the shoulders down. And we want to push the chin back, or even better, float the crown to pull the chin in and open back of the neck, straighten the back of the neck, and drop the tailbone and or push the lower back out so it's almost straight. So this lower back is virtually straight. Here is virtually straight. Weight through the feet. Of course, your knees should be over your feet. Your toes, your feet are pointed out slightly. And try to access that hanging out. Let gravity take your shoulders down and roll the elbows forward. Feel the opening in your shoulders. Hang the tailbone. Release the abdomen. Let your hips just hang. Drop your hips Let that stretch the spine. Have a sense of your hip cage just falling with gravity. That stretches the spine, including the back of the neck. And have that send your elbows forward. That dropping sends the elbows forward. If your legs get tired, either come up a little bit, make your knees less bent, and or bring your feet in closer. Right now, we don't want to be distracted by being tired with the legs. We want to be able to relax and open as much as possible. Hanging out, releasing, opening. Okay. Hands out to the sides. Elbows are still pointed towards the ground. But other than that, your arms are straight or extended or stretched as they can be, but you still have those elbow points. Now, keeping the arms way out there, send the energy out through the fingertips. Keep the energy flowing out through the fingers. And as you're relaxing and extending out to the sides, imagine and feel as if you're bending the arms, pulling your elbows towards your body, but you can't quite do it. So you're attempting to pull your elbows in, bend your arms, but the arms stay extended out. And you'll feel a little stretch again in the fascia, through the arm, through the shoulder, into the torso. Arms extending out, pulling the arms in, but can't physically do it. You can also imagine that your fingertips are touching the walls. So in Cheryl's case, you'd be touching your neighbor's houses. So the fingertip of the middle finger touching the walls, and then you attempt to bend your elbows, but keep your fingertips on the walls. Now breathe in and send your fingertips even further out. Breathe out, attempt to pull the elbows in. Breathe in is opening, extending out. Breathing out is attempting to pull in. Okay, now we're going to go into a little bit of arm swing. So the moment you decide to let the arms go, releasing those shoulder joints completely. Back of the neck, push it out, back of the lower back. Let the weight exit through the legs and feet as you release the abdomen. Now, when you send your arms out to the sides again, right back where they were, don't think of pulling your arms up or raising your arms up. Send your fingertips out, 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 out to the side, way out to the sides, way out to the sides until you're touching the walls again. Breathe out. Feel as if you're pulling your elbows in, but you keep contact with the walls with your fingertips. Breathe in, release and expand out again. Breathe out, pull the fascia. So don't think of your muscles. Think you're pulling in with something other than your muscles. Pulling in with anything but the muscles. Breathing in, expanding out. Breathe out, pull in slightly. And swing the arms. And we'll do a little turn now as well. Releasing those shoulder joints. Knees are bent a little bit. Hang out, release the abdomen. And then the arms will expand back outward, 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 laterally. Fingers expanding out. Now this time we are going to physically actually bend the arms, but have the same sense that the fingertips are flowing out, extending out through the fingertips. And when you bend the arms, bend the elbows in, don't feel as if you're doing it with the arms. Feel as if you're pulling the elbows in with your back, but your fingers are still stretching out. Breathe in, physically you go back out, breathe out, pull the elbows in towards the body using your back, your scapula, scapulae, even though your fingertips are continuing to extend and stretch outward. So breathing in is releasing, relaxing outward. Breathing out is that pulling in from the back. Hang the spine, drop the hips, set the shoulders. Fingertips are stretching out as the back pulls the elbows in. And then let the arms go. Continue to breathe and keep the body open. Release the abdomen. Hanging out so the weight is exiting through the legs and feet. And the arms will flow back out laterally, laterally, laterally. Breathe out, pressing down, but keeping the length of your arms as if you're pushing down through something. And then breathing in, rising with the arms. Breathing out, pushing down so the elbows bend slightly down towards the ground. Breathing in, they rise. The whole time, feel as if your arms are getting longer. The shoulder joints are only opening more and more, both on the dropping and the rising. Not doing that muscularly, just having the intention that your shoulder joints are opening in both directions, with both directions. As you sink down, it stretches the shoulder joints open. As the arms rise, that stretches the joints open. Breathe out is that pulling down. Breathing in is that releasing and rising. Pressing the hands down, floating up and outward. Pressing down and outward. Breathing in, rising and expanding out to the sides. Breathing out, pressing down, even as you continue to extend out to the sides. And then palms up as you breathe in, palms down as you breathe out. Rising and extending out to the sides, breathing in, sinking down as you open the shoulder joints, breathing out. Bring the arms to the front. Breathing in, breathing out. Feel as if you're lifting something up with your hands, but also sliding it away from you. Up and forward, down and sliding forward without using your arm muscles. Just intentional direction. And then into that slightly wider stance, into that classic position that we were doing. Opening this up here, extending out with your intention. You may feel that this is pulling the shoulders down a little bit and maybe opening up the sternum. Hang the hips, weight through the feet. Breathing in, Imagine you're pulling the breath from the ground, pulling the energy from the ground through your legs to your hara. And as you breathe out, you're sending the ki out through your torso, through your arms, through your shoulders, through your palms. So breathing in, pulling the ki up, breathing out, sending it out through the arms. So breathing in is gathering the energy, gathering into your hara, into your core. Breathing out is sending it out. Breathing in, you're drawing the breath from the ground through your legs into the center of the torso. Breathe out, sending out through your limbs. Push the back of the neck out, lower back, release the abdomen. Breathing out, elongate the spine. Breathing in, fill the hara. Breathing out, send it out. Breathing in, hang the hips. Breathing out, stretch the spine. Okay, bend the knees a little bit. Down.
Fingertips make a small circle behind you.
Coming forward. Arching the back a little bit. Pressing forward. Sink into the hips as you bend over.
Fingertips describe an arc around and behind.
Come up using your legs and hips. Rotate the arms. Opening the chest. Pushing forward. Okay, now working with the intentional breathe or intentional using of the mind, send your mind to the fingertips.
As you draw the circle on the ground,
Coming up, bring your mind to the little fingers. Bring your attention to the little fingers. As you rotate, bring your attention to your base of thumbs, the thumbs and base of thumbs. And as you push forward here, attention is in palms. To the fingertips. Inside edges of the hands, the tegatana, the hand blades, little finger all the way down that line. Moving your attention to the base of the thumbs and to the palms. Energizing the fingertips. Energizing little fingers and the hand blades. Moving your attention to the base of the thumbs and the thumbs. And flowing out through the palms. Fingertips. Hand blades, including the little finger. Base of the thumbs. Palms as you push. When you push, hang the hips, stretch the spine as you sink. Okay. Hami no Kamai, so a ready stance. Take a moment. So you're hanging, not standing up, but you're hanging. Same action as we had here, exactly the same feeling, same process. So the back of the neck is pushed back. Same with the lower back. Breathing in is switching your feet and your hands. Breathing out is sinking into the stance. Breathe in, breathe out. So breathing in, switching the stance, you're gathering. Gathering. As you sink and breathe out, open the shoulder joints, hang the spine. Back of the neck is open. Breathing in, gathering. Breathing out, settling and extending. So go at your own timing. It's purely intentional. So feel that gathering, charging, and the settling and extending. Doing that with your feeling and your breath. Do it less with your muscles and more with your intention, your breath, and your feeling. You can release the abdomen. Okay, so that whole time, you can call it a warm-up, but that whole time is actually kind of setting the stage. So that's setting the stage, it's setting the body. So everything that we do from now on for the rest of the class, hopefully for a lot of the rest of the day, we want that feeling and that quality. And we can always bring that feeling quality back when we lose it. Basically, hang out and open. Hang out and extend. Just pretend you're not using your muscles to extend. Hang out and extend without using your muscles, just your intention. So let's do some basic footwork, keeping these qualities, these feelings as much as we can, and just simply noticing when you lose some stuff. Maybe when you come up, you lose your extension, your breath gets tight. Just notice those things, come back to hanging out and flowing outward. So Hadari Hanmi, so left leg forward, we'll do Irimi Sudiyashi, offline and turning 45 degrees. Keeping the feeling as much as we can. Offline and turn. And we want to pause here to work on, have I lost anything? Did I come in when I moved? And just regaining that. So each. Ni. San. Shi. Ro. Ro. See if you got tight here in the lower back. They get arched and tight. Can you hang the tailbone? Can you press the lower back? Can you press the neck back? And Migi Hanmi. Offline of the front foot. Slight turn. Hang out, relax outwardly. Each. Ni. San. Shi. Just pause here for a moment. So eventually you'll be able to feel, you keep those qualities and feelings more and more, no matter what you do and what movements you do. Ho. Ro. Hadari Hanmi. This time we'll do the same movement, Irimi Sudiyashi, front foot moving first, but we'll turn 90 degrees, so a bit more movement. So we have a higher challenge level to keep the things, keep the qualities and feelings. So offline, turning 90 degrees. So of course, because we have a bigger movement, there's more of a tendency to do wonky movements and get discombobulated structure-wise. So just basically hang from the string, hanging straight down, gravity working straight down while you flow outwardly. each. Check things out here. Knee. How's the back of the neck? Lower back? Belly? San. Shi. Wo. Rook. So good. Hang out and enjoy what you have maintained and retained. And most of these things feel very, very good. It does take a lot of building up of a certain kind of stamina and strength, and even mental stamina and strength. But once you start to get some of that stamina and strength, these things feel very, very good. Bigi Hanmi. So be offline, turn 90 degrees. Each, while we hang out, release and extend. Knee. San. Shi. Ro. Ro. Okay. Let's work a little bit on strikes with this content and these inner qualities. So Showman, basically all the things that we worked on in another movement called Showman. So not striking just for striking's sake. You want to have an effective strike, but actually use the Showman as a vehicle to practice these qualities. So just to talk briefly about basic mechanics of Showmanship. So basic Hami no Kamae. You raise the back arm, the back leg, back arm, over the forehead. Again, you do that by rolling the elbow forward. So again, relying on those things that we worked on earlier. So I don't want to hike up the shoulder or do this as a separate movement. The arm, in a sense, isn't doing it. It's coming from the back heel, stretching through the fascia. A very interesting and helpful mechanic is whatever part of the body you're moving or want to move, you don't move it from that part of the body. So, for example, when we do our arm swings like this, I don't want to be doing it from my shoulder. I want to do it from, it can be literally anything else except the shoulder. Generally, it's the body moving. It's my hip turn and my body moving, and this is neutral. So generally speaking, whatever we want to move, we don't want to move from that place. That's very much connected to an Aiki when we're working with a partner or being grabbed or there's contact anywhere. Someone's grabbing you, you don't want to work from that spot there. You're not trying to resist or change that spot. You're moving everything else, but not that spot. So that stays neutral. If you work that spot there, you have nothing but tension, resistance, fighting. If you move your arm from your arm, you have nothing but tension and tightness. So you raise that arm from your back heel through your hips to the fascia of your torso. A very simpler way of starting with this is you roll your elbow forward rather than picking your arm up. You roll the elbow forward. Eventually, you can be able to feel, I'll quickly mention the ground force and the ground path. Right now, today, we're talking about fascia, stretching from that back leg. If I'm stretching the fascia here, this is going to take the largest possible arc. So raising, you can either think of simply rolling the elbow or coming from that hip. Step forward. As your weight lands into the front leg, use that as a natural sink and drop. So the strike itself also isn't just coming down, it's extending out, largest possible arc. So same feeling we had when we're stretching our arms and fingers out, the same thing. Send the hand through the far wall in front of you. Slide back, hang the hips, stretch the spine, roll the tailbone and the hips forward to roll the elbow forward. When you're ready, step without coming up, still hanging out. As the weight drops through the front hip, it sends the fingers out. So the joints stay open. Eventually, more and more, you relate to this and everything as a function of opening, lengthening, releasing, and relaxation, which is basically hanging out. Okay, let's go to the other side. Let's take a moment just to feel and notice what we're doing with our body. Back of the neck, lower back, shoulders, belly, shoulder joints. Just try this a couple times. The normal thing of lifting the arm, you probably notice a hiking of the shoulder coming up, and contrast and compare that with the rolling of the elbow forward, and how that keeps the shoulder down, and indeed may even open up that shoulder joint. So the normal action of just lifting, and how that disintegrates the body, it separates the upper body from the lower body. Compare that with rolling the elbow forward, keeps the shoulder down, and thus keeps the body integrated, and allows muscles and joints to stay open and long, not shortened and tight. Then eventually, you'll be able to get that rolling of the elbow forward, not from the arm itself, but from the hip, eventually further down. Rolling up, stepping forward, sinking down the front hip, sending the fingertips out. And just a functional notation, as most of you may know, when we strike, we don't want to drop it all the way down, creating an opening. So this is just a martial awareness. If my target is here, I want to strike through the target, but only by a couple few inches. Anything lower, I'm open. So some martial awareness there, as opposed to letting it just go. And if you're strongly extending or strongly opening, your arm will probably stay out there. It probably won't fall down. You have strong current of intention. Okay, let me know if you have any questions with anything that we've done so far. Feel free to jump on that unmute button.
Yeah, Sensei, can I just ask, what I can feel is like in the starting the strike, if it's hara led, right, this organization forward that lifts, lifts up, is it just the continuation of the hara that allows the step, or are you feeling an actual like rotation through the hips, or like where that propulsion comes from?
Okay, so
basically, so it doesn't disintegrate. That's my question. Like how to keep the integration,
the connection
in the step. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not really thinking right now of a hip turn. Now there will be some bit of a hip turn, especially if you're starting with your hips out a little bit. If you start with the hips fairly square, there'll be virtually no hip turn. So I'm not coming so much from a hip turn, although that can be in there, again, depending on where you started. It's more of an advancing of the hip or the tailbone, which comes from the ground or the back heel. Now, as far as keeping the connection when you step, yes. So it's the intention of flowing out that fills the space and can in fact lead you forward. So if you feel a disconnection, which again is really good awareness, it's great when you notice those things. The default setting basically is see if you can fill that space with intention, intentional flow. And then that will tend to organize the body. And then you'll be able to, with that same keen awareness, notice, oh, that's where my hips turned, or that's when, that's how, it'll kind of become self-regulating, self-referring. So this is an excellent point. So I'm coming from the back leg through my hips. And of course, that's all originally coming from my intention, right? So that's driving the arm up. And as you said, being hara oriented, coming from your center, not your upper body. Because of this continual flow, continual extension, where before it was lateral, because I have the strong extension forward, that sweeps me forward. And then there's kind of a natural harmony of that leg coming with that arm. So let's try just a couple more of these. And especially where you feel a little bit of a disconnect, fill the space. And if that's a little bit ambiguous, what that means, a simpler way of putting that perhaps is simply have a stronger mental current. But eventually you'll have this sense of you're filling the space before you get there. So let's try a few more of these and jump in again. Let me know how that's going. I'd like to mention another thing, again, related to what was stimulated here. So this does make me want to say that you might start with nice extension, nice flow, rolling forward, not up, might have those good things. You have a strong, good mental current. And then what happens is you step, or you think of stepping, everything collapses in. That's going to happen. That's totally normal. So again, when I feel that, and I do feel that if I don't have that strong current of intention, if I don't fill the space, even having a fair amount of practice with this move, it's very small, it's very tiny, but there's still a little bit of pulling in, pulling up, or a disintegration. So the antidote, and it's almost literal, or it's almost an immediate, instantaneous antidote, is if I keep that strong mental current, it fills in all those leaks. So notice, just take a moment, notice that you might be doing good here. Then when you step, then things retract and collapse. So just have a commensurate, stronger intentional flow through those harder points. So even stronger intention here as I step, and I feel that opening up my body, connecting everything. This is really good to practice with Boken and Joe as well, because we'll really tend to tighten in and tighten up when we're holding something that has a little bit of weight to it. So we'll tend to really be muscular, and these things are even aggravated, amplified with weapon work. So then when you change it, change the mechanics and the internals with the weapons, it makes an even deeper change within you. It really emblazons the neurons within you working with the weapons, and when you come back to empty hand, it's deeply set within you. Okay, so a little bit of yokomen. Starts exactly the same. And now as your weight lands through your front hip, you have the intention to cut diagonally, and that will turn your hips. The shoulder should only open more and more as you cut. So as I come through here, my shoulder only opens more and more, just like my arms only lengthened more and more. So you're only lengthening even through the actual cut itself. Rolling the elbow forward, cutting, Your shoulder joint only opens, your cut only gets longer. Breathing in, breathing out. Few on the other side. Again, roll the elbow forward, big arc. Extend your intention forward, release the abdomen, expand the hara, and it only gets longer as you complete the cut. Back of the neck, lower back. Okay. Any questions or comments thus far? This footwork here, let's just do the footwork. The 90-degree, 180-degree tankons. So we start with Migi Hami, right leg. We'll just do the footwork, get acquainted with this. Every time the left leg moves up, it's a 90-degree turn. Every time the right leg moves up, it's a 180-degree turn. So we'll guide each other through this process here, first couple times. So stepping up, 90 degrees. Step with your right leg, 180. Stepping with your left leg, it's 90 degrees. Stepping with the right leg, it's 180. Left leg stepping, 90. As the right leg enters, that's 180. 90, 180. Now let's do one more, focusing on just hanging out. So 90, 180, intention leads. 90, 180, 90, 180, 90, 180. Now each time we step, we're going to do Manucci with that opening and lengthening of the arms, energizing the Tegatana, and energizing the hand blade right through the little finger. Largest possible arc up, largest possible arc down. So every time we advance with a leg, every time we step, that raises the Manucci. And every time that leg comes back, that's the cutting down. Okay, so 90 degrees, 180, 90, 180, 90, 180, 90, 180. Switching to Hidari Hami. So now every time the right leg steps, it's 90 degrees. So let's just do the footwork once. So the right foot, so that's 90. Left foot, 180. Right foot, 90. Left foot, 180. 90. 180. 90. 180. Now with Manucci. Again, just basically hanging out, opening the shoulders, longer and longer arms. So 90 degrees, 180, 90, 180, 90, 180, 90, 180. Okay, back to Migi Hami. We're going to do Showman. So the back leg, back arm strikes. Again, we raise as we advance, and we cut as that leg slides back. So right leg forward. Every time the left foot steps, it's 90 degrees. So raising, cutting. Now it's going to be the right hand. Right foot, 180 degrees, cutting. Now the left hand, 90 degrees, right hand, 180. 90, 180, 90, 180. Okay, Hidari Hami. So the back side, the back leg and arm, Arm rises up without advancing and cuts as you slide back. So 90 degrees with the right leg coming. 90. Now left hand, 180. Right hand, 90. Left hand, 180. 90. 180. 90. 180. Okay, let's do one more on each side. Now yokomen. Yokomen starts exactly the same way, just has a slight angle on the cut. Okay, so migi hanmi. So it'll be 90 degrees, first one. We raise and we cut on that foot sliding back, slight angle. Yokomen. So 90 degrees, 180. 90, 180, 90, 180, 90, 180. Let's do one more with that same side. 90, 180, 90, 180, 90, 180, 90, 180. Okay, let's do a couple on this other side. So we step with the right foot, that right hand comes up, 90 degrees, comes down at a slight angle. Expand out, extend out, both sides equal. 90 degrees, 180, it's the left hand. 90 degrees, right hand. 180, left hand. 90 degrees, 180, 90, 180. Check yourself out. Are you still hanging out? Still radiating, emanating? And one more time. 90, 180, 90, 180, 90, 180, 90, 180. Okay, any questions or comments? Okay, let's just very briefly go through Kotegaeshi Ura. We did Kotegaeshi Omote last time. So we'll just do it a couple times on each side perhaps. So the partner is grabbing you kosodori inside of your wrists. So their back is here. Their front is there. Omote, Ura this side. This is their back. Step up, atemi to their head. And we're just working on keeping those dynamics and mechanics nice and open. We turn 90 degrees, sink down into horse stance. We release by turning Minuchi towards them. Fingers over fingers, Tenkon. So we'll just only go that far. We won't do the pin right now. We'll do that one more time. Grabbing inside the wrist. This is Ura, the blind side or the rear side. This is just like a Stroman. Everything is nice and open. Enter in, go to their flank, 90, sink into horse stance, slide. Turn your hips, do a Minuchi towards their face. That's also the release. Fingers over fingers. Tenkon, you stay nice and sunk. As you did that Tenkon, or did you come up? Let's do a couple on the other side. Grabbing inside of the wrist, so their outside is there. Step up to their outside, strike. Turn 90 degrees to their flank, sink down horse stance, slide step. Minuchi towards them, fingers over fingers, foot comes back. And one more time. Hanging out, keeping your extension. Extend and open. Now this is a complex turn, so can you stay hanging out and nice and open and flowing as you turn? Center oriented, breathing in, everything expands out from the center point. Breathe out, everything returns back to the center point. Again, imagine and feel you're not using your muscles. It's the movement of your intention and breath. Your breath energy and intention that's moving, and your body simply softly follows. Each time you open up, let your shoulder joints release a bit more. Each time you open and expand, let your arms get longer. Each time you breathe out, see if you can let more weight exit through your legs and feet. It's a movement of your mind and your breath, not your arms. Move the mind and breath first. Let your arms be moved by that current of intention. Longer arms, opening shoulder joints. Here, hang the spine. Drop the hips. And gradually coming back to the heart. Let the hands rest there. Let your mind rest in the bowl of the hips. Weight exits through the legs and feet. And that allows your spine to open and elongate, allows your upper body to release and empty. The more you can release down through the legs and feet, directly opens and releases and empties the upper body. Back of the neck, lower back, belly releases. Take a deep breath in through the nose, long breath out through the mouth, and drop the hands, and very natural minimal arm swing, just being with the natural movement as you hang out and breathe, noticing your arms being brought to stillness very naturally and gradually by gravity itself. Back of the neck, awareness, lower back, extended and flat, belly released. Let the belly expand as you breathe in. Let it naturally release as you breathe out. And rock out of that position. How is it out there? Is it getting cold or windy? Outside there?
A little more windy, but it's getting warmer.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah. Okay, any comments or questions or thoughts?
I mean, good brain workout to do the different showman.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Uh-huh.
I found too that the Yokomen strike, especially when we were doing the 90 and 180 degree turns, was really fun.
Yes.
It just had a really nice feel and flow to it. I enjoyed that immensely.
I totally experienced the same thing.
Okay.
Totally experienced the same thing. And yeah, that's interesting you mentioned that. I don't know, there's something about that angle with that turn. And that's why I wanted to keep going. That's interesting that you mentioned that because I felt exactly the same thing. So that'll be good to do more so on our own.
Agreed.
Yeah, something about that coordination that felt really nice.
Sorry I dropped off there, Sensei. I have a crazy internet connection sometimes, so I was gone for a minute.
Okay. Well, you're here with us almost the whole time.
Almost, yeah. Yeah.
How do you guys feel?
Great. Yeah.
Really
Great.
Good. So the last few classes and spending a lot of time on opening the body, stretching, releasing, and I was mentioning the other day that developing or cultivating a certain kind of body state, in my state, is half of the work. It's in Aikido, we call it the Aiki-body, which is very, very different than a normal person's body. A normal person's body is very dense, condensed, very tight, of course. So this is literally kind of re-engineering, reopening the body, reforming the body.